Welcome to today's ILTA podcast recording entitled, Can You Replace Traditional Privilege Review? I'm your moderator, Chris Acosta, the head of firm-wide e-discovery resources at Morrison Foerster. I'm thrilled today to be joined by our speaker, Maria Early, partner at Morrison Foerster. Welcome, Maria.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for doing this. So we'll get straight to the questions. With Privilege Review, what sold you on trying Privilege Analytics for the first time?
That's a really good question. I do a lot of work in the technology space, and so I was really curious to see if the advancements that we've made in other areas of technology and using AI could extend to Privilege Review. Privilege Review can be really, really difficult, and there's a lot of human error that can be, injected in the process. So for me, it was sort of a natural next step to try out using, computer and technology, advancements to see whether we could improve both the quality and the efficiency of Privilege Review.
Great. And how was your experience in using the Privilege Analytics?
It was actually really good. I will admit I was a little skeptical. I wasn't sure, just because I've spent so many years on all different sides of Privilege Review, doing it, manually. I wasn't sure how it would turn out, but it was great. And I have to say, the biggest pleasant surprise for me was whenever you do a Privilege Review, you try to write down all the lawyers and law firms and all of the potential touches to privilege and legal functions that you can. And when we did this review and we ran analytics, the number of lawyers and law firms that we had not identified, that the client didn't remember, or just over time, you have different people changing in and out of different seats. It was astonishing, to be honest. And we were able to, with analytics, capture everything. Just by using sort of firm names and smart AI capabilities, and it was great. It was sort of, you could look, and there were some false hits, but I'd rather have false hits and have a list that you could pick out of than miss them, which always happens. It's never perfect, but it was really eye-opening to have that list of legal functions that we had not even considered.
That's true. What are some areas or issues to keep in mind during the process?
It is very similar to what you would do with a manual Privilege Review, when you have teams of reviewers and you again come up with your list of lawyers and support, and then your topics. But I think for us, the planning, you have to do more planning up front and think about what the end result is going to be in terms of your descriptions and your categories. A lot of times that happens on an iterative basis during the review. You want to do a lot of that up front, and you can still change it at the end. But the more you plan, the more you think about the types of documents, the types of privilege, the types of categories, the more effective I think the review will be. So it's less diving in. A lot of times with Priv Review, you have to get in there and you have to go fast to get people started. With this type of review, you want to spend a little more time up front with the team thinking about what categories you want to have for your log and other types of categories up front, so that the process can sort of take shape.
Oh, very good, very good. Would you use Privilege Analytics again?
Absolutely. I don't think I would ever not in the future, because it's just such an important backstop. Again, like I said, with the level of efficiency and the level of accuracy was breathtakingly good. You still have to use, manual review. I still think it's important to do that in a controlled way and in a thoughtful way. But I can't imagine not using it unless it's a very small review. And we've done a few since I've adopted, sort of, become a convert. I've done a few that were very small, that didn't weren't big enough to need the analytics. But on a medium-sized to large review, I would not ever skip the step of using analytics, even if I were to, use teams of people up front and, during the process. It's just such an important tool. And, just to put a finer point on that, a lot of times when you're doing a priv review, you have a team and you get into the review, and then all of a sudden the reviewers go, oh my gosh, I just realized Chris Acosta is at a law firm that we hadn't identified. And then you kind of have to go back, or, you're looking at a set of documents and you realize down the line that they were talking about Maria and you didn't know who Maria was. And now you're realizing that, there were entire threads of discussion about what Maria said or what Maria was talking about that you didn't realize was potentially privileged. A lot of that doesn't happen when you use analytics, because the analytics captures it. And so you're getting more targeted and more detailed analytics that the team can then use to be more precise with. So it's just the level of precision is like, for anybody who hasn't used the analytics, it's hard to describe, but I will just say that a lot of the hiccups that happen with a manual review can be streamlined significantly with analytics.
Very good. Very good. Thank you so much for your time, Maria. And thank you to the audience for tuning into today's podcast. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.